Well, hello, YouTube fam. How are we doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. Some of us are upset about things, some of us are feeling pretty proud. But if if you're feeling a little down, I I hope I hope you feel better eventually. I wanted to give words of encouragement, but I can't. I don't have any myself right now. However, that is not why we're here. Um, on my Wednesday, Watch Wednesday, I said I would be doing something on the P. Diddy case because it was requested. And then I had something else pop up and I was going to cover it instead. It was about a woman missing in Wiley, Texas. She'd been missing for a few days. And it seemed rather suspicious. Like, according to her husband, um, they went to bed about 10 o'clock that night. The kids had gone to bed. Her and him had gone to bed about 10 o'clock that night. And then when he woke up, that was Sunday night. When he woke up Monday morning at 6 a.m., she was gone. She didn't take clothes. She didn't take keys. She didn't take phone. She didn't take medication. She didn't take nothing. So to me, it sounded suspicious that this woman went to bed with her husband at 10 o'clock at night on Sunday night. And then Monday morning, she just vanished, like just vanished. So I thought it was sounding pretty suspicious. But I was going to check on it just now. I went to check on it just now to get my information loaded up, and she was found today. I don't know any more details than that, other than the fact she was found. So we're going back to P. Diddy. I really didn't want to cover this case for a number of reasons. Everybody and their brothers already covered it, number one. And number two, I really don't know much about it. Um, it is an important case. And I do get why people want to know more about it. But I really don't know much myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover what I could find. And this kind of covers a lot of like his crime, a guide to what he's done. Self-proclaimed bad boy for life, Sean Diddy Combs is facing serious legal issues following numerous allegations of sexual assault, harassment, sex trafficking, all throughout his career. On March 25th, simultaneous biocoaster raids of his Los Angeles and Miami homes played out live on CNN while the hip-hop mogul was on his private jet amid what could turn out to be a very public reckoning. On September 16th, the indictment against Diddy was revealed and he was charged on 3 counts, including sex trafficking by force. He pled not guilty before he was denied bail. He is currently being held in jail awaiting trial. In addition to an investigation from Homeland Security and federal government, he's also facing 4 federal lawsuits, a 5th brought by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, which included allegations of rape, physical abuse, was settled and dismissed after it had been filed. Below is the biggest lawsuit involving Combs, including the latest lawsuit. So we're just going to go over all these one at a time. What does the lawsuit say? Rodney L. Rod Jones Jr., a record producer from Chicago, filed a 105-page federal complaint against Combs. Jesus, that's a damn lot. Accusing him and the people who work for him of being part of an illegal racketeering enterprise. Okay, I might learn some stuff tonight. Because I knew he was a mess. I knew he did things. I knew about it, but I didn't know to what depths on some of them, and I didn't know about some of these others. So, okay. Anyhow, against Combs, accusing him and the people working. Okay. Jones alleges in his complaint that he has irrefutable evidence: A, the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. B, the displaying and distribution of unregistered legal firearms, and C, the solicitation of minors and sex workers. According to Jones, he alleges in the complaint Combs reached out to Jones in 2022 to help him produce songs, but Jones claims that the work Combs required of him went far beyond producing music. He claims in the lawsuit that he was tasked with procuring drugs and soliciting sex workers to perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. Oh, lovely. Sounds great. Just a short note, something that some people might be upset about hearing, some people might be okay with it. Our new president-elect, in a few of his speeches, has said that he likes Diddy. Diddy's a good guy. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see. Sex acts who often threatened to inflict bodily harm on him if he did not comply with his demands. Jones alleged in his complaint that Combs kept specific bottles of alcohol designated for females on hand. According to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs forced all of the women to drink the laced De Leon liqueur. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Oh, lovely. Oh, okay. Thank you, Darlene. I just remember he mentioned it like in a very recent speech. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm not sitting here to offend. Um, um, yeah, I'm sure he was. He accuses Combs of sexual harassment. Let's see. Mr. Combs forced all women to drink okay, it was laced with ecstasy. The lawsuit claims he also accuses Combs of sexual harassment and assault for allegedly grabbing him without his consent and forcing him to work while Combs paraded around naked. Jones also alleges that Combs once left him alone in a makeshift studio on a yacht with Cuba Gooding Jr., who he said then began touching, groping, and fondling his upper thighs and his groin. He said that Gooding did not stop until he forcibly pushed him away. I did not know that Cuba Gooding Jr. was involved in this. I knew that Cuba Gooding Jr. had some problems of a sexual nature. I did not know that he was involved in this. Oh, shit. When was this filed? February 2nd, 2024 in Manhattan federal courts. What is the status? Ongoing. Jones' lawyer has accused Combs of harassing behavior, including manufacturing stories about the plaintiff on TMZ and dispatching his agents to harass plaintiff's 8-year-old daughter, the mother of his children, and ex-spouse, all who have expressed the fear of potential harm by defendant Combs. Hello. She's naming. Have y'all listened to the girl who was Diddy's victim, Allie Carter? She's naming. She was one of the only person trying to help stop child trafficking. I see. I didn't. Like I just said, I'm learning stuff. I knew there was a lot of stuff going on, and I knew he had a lot of issues. But I've only heard some of the highlights. I really haven't been that in depth into it. Oh Lord, I need to look her up. Thank you, Darlene. I mean, if I'd have known that before I started this, I would have watched some of them, and I'd have more information than I have tonight. But I did agree to do this for somebody, or for some of our subscribers. So here I am. Where'd I leave off at? I'm going to learn. ex-spouses of whom have expressed fear and potential harm by the defendant Combs. Jones' attorney told Judge J. Paul Oatkeen, who is overseeing the case, that an additional police report had been filed on March 3rd. Jones is asking the court for a jury trial. Same. That's why that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason why I avoid going into politics on my channel, because I'm sure there's lots of people that watch me on the left, and I'm sure there's people on the right that watch me, and I get along with almost everybody that comments to me or talks to me or I do things with, and I don't need us fighting in comments. I don't need us saying mean things. Not that you would or I would, but sometimes people get heated and they say things, and people do lose friends. So I just tried to avoid it. I made a comment because I thought it was an interesting thing, but I appreciate you correcting me on it, because I just thought it was interesting that he thought he was a good person. He probably doesn't think that now. What was Combs' response? When reached out to for a comment, Combs' attorney Sean Hawley provided a near identical statement that he provided to the New York Times on February 26, 2024. Mr. Jones is nothing more than a con man, shamelessly looking for an easy and wholly undeserved payday. It said, we have an indisputable, incontrovertible. I messed this word up. I know I did. Words are hard for me tonight, apparently. Proof that his claims are complete fabrications. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored as Mr. Blackburn has refused to return our calls. We look forward to addressing these ridiculous claims in court and intend to take all the appropriate action against all who are attempting to peddle them. Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. Case number 2. What does the lawsuit say? Doe alleges that she was gang raped and sex trafficked by Combs and former president of Bad Boy Records, Harve Pierre, when she was only 17 and in the 11th grade. She alleges she met Pierre in the lounge in Detroit, and he told her he was best friends with Combs. Doe claims Combs convinced her to accompany Pierre and a third assailant to a private jet to come to a studio in New York City. She claims she agreed and boarded the jet and flew to New Jersey and was taken to Combs' studio. She alleges that once there, Combs and his associates, including Pierre, plied her with drugs, alcohol, alleges that she was subsequently gang raped by the studio Combs, Pierre, and the third assailant. At the studio by Combs, Pierre, and the third assailant. Her complaint states that while Mr. Combs was rapping Mrs. Doe, he complained. Her complaint states that while Mr. Combs was rapping Miss Doe, he complained that he could not get off unless she pinched his nipples hard as she could. Okay, fun. And that Combs allegedly Mr. Combs raped her after she told him to stop. After the third assailant was finished, Mr. Pierre took his turn at raping Miss Doe and then violently forced her to give him oral sex, during which Miss Doe was choking and struggling to breathe, according to the complaint. When was it filed? December 2nd, 2023 in Federal Court of Manhattan. What is the status ongoing? Combs and Pierre have denied the allegations in the case. Well, of course, they've denied it. Combs' attorney have asked the judge to dismiss the entire case. Combs was a victim of the cancel culture frenzy in the courts. The victim has been attempting to remain anonymous. Jessica Judge Jessica G.L. Clark, overseeing the case, has so far denied the woman's request to continue to remain anonymous, but has stayed the ruling until she makes a decision. Let me back up. Judge Jessica G.L. Clark, overseeing the case, has so far denied the woman's request to continue to remain anonymous, but has stayed that the ruling until she makes now that's word for word, but has stayed that the ruling until she makes a decision on Combs' motion to dismiss. The judge has given the woman until March 29th to file a response to Combs' dismissal motion. What's Combs' response? She's a liar. She's a liar. Combs posted a statement on December 6, 2023, addressing the lawsuit. Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy, he said. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of these awful things that things are being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Pierre also released a statement. Words are hard for me, apparently. Denying the accusations. This is a tale of fiction, he said. I have never participated in, witnessed, or heard anything like this. These disgusting allegations are false and a desperate attempt for financial gain. I will vigorously protect my reputation and defend my name. Those who know me recognize these claims are not true. Nothing in my glass. All right, never mind. Cassandra Cassie Ventura Sean Combs versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Cassie's 35-page federal complaint accused Combs of sexual assault, battery, sex trafficking, and requiring her to engage in forced sexual acts. God, I'm gonna get demonetized. Actually, I can't be yet, but I don't make any money. But jeez. Okay, SA battery. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to make any money. Requiring her for sexual acts. According to her complaint, Combs signed Cassie to his label when she was 19 and he was 37. She claimed he was physically abusive throughout the relationship. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Miss Ventura's personal and professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. She also claimed that he demanded she carry a firearm for him in her purse and forced her to engage in sex acts with male sex workers, according to her complaint. She claimed that Combs' staff and Bed Boy Entertainment employees were aware of the abuse. Ultimately, she left her long-term abuser in 2018 after the alleged rape. She continues to struggle with intense emotional distress, she said in her court papers. When was this filed? November 16, 2023 in Manhattan's federal courts. Cassie and Combs mutually agreed to settle the case on November 17, 2023, 4 days after filing her lawsuit. Cassie asked the court to dismiss her entire case with prejudice, which meant that her claims could not be filed again. I wonder why she did that. All right, Liza Gardner versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Gardner filed a 22-page lawsuit accusing Combs and Aaron Hall of forcing her to have sex with them against her will when she was only 16. Gardner claims she met Combs and Hall in New York at an event for an album release. After dinner for the event, Combs allegedly invited Gardner and her friend Hall's apartment for the after party. She alleged it was there that Combs coerced her into having sex with him. And while she was getting dressed after that, Hall barged in the room, pinned her down, and allegedly forced her to have sex with him. Gardner claims that she had immense pain vaginally afterwards. She said she fled the apartment later and learned that her friend also allegedly had sex with both Combs and Hall. The day after the assault, Gardner alleged that Combs came to her home begging and began assaulting and choking her to the point where she passed out. Gardner's complaint states that since being violently and statutorily raped by Combs and Aaron Hall, Mrs. Gardner's life has been overwhelmed by depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and strained relationship with men. And has asked the court file for jury trial. When was this filed? November 23rd, 2023, in New York Supreme Court, one day before the deadline ended to file cases under the New York's Adult Survivors Act. The act gave victims 1 year to bring civil complaints for sexual offenses and previously had been barred by the statute of limitations. What is the status? Ongoing. Both Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall were also named in the suit with copies of the complaint against them on March 23rd. What is Combs' response? Of course, its response is going to be, they lied. Combs' representative issued a statement after the lawsuit, which was originally filed, calling in the claims fabricated and bogus, and the case is a money grab. Walter reached out to Hall for comment, and he did not. Reached out to Hall for comment and did not hear back. Vultures, who's one that wrote this little article here. Oh boy, this sounds like case number 5, Joy Dickerson Neal versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? In her 22-page complaint, Dickerson alleges that she met Combs after she had appeared in a music video with him while she was a student at Syracuse University. She claims she later agreed to go out to dinner with him on January 3rd, 1991, while on a school break. During their date, Dickerson alleged that Combs intentionally drugged her. She accused Combs of sexually assaulting her and video recording the sexual assault, according to her complaint. Days later, a male friend allegedly revealed to her, Days later, a male friend allegedly revealed to her that he, along with other men, had viewed the sex tape. Oh, that's lovely. Jesus. She asked her friend who had seen the sex tape, and her friend allegedly told her everyone. Dickerson claims from the point of her life went into a tailspin, and after returning to college, she had to be admitted to the hospital for severe depression and suicidal ideation. That's the second time today I've run across that phrase. I've never seen that term before. Dickerson claims she has suffered a lifetime of injuries from being drugged, sexually assaulted, and abused, and being the victim of revenge porn that Sean Combs, or P. Diddy, created and distributed. She is suing him for the assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, human trafficking, and revenge porn. When was it filed? November 22nd, 2023, in the New York Supreme Court, which is one day before the cutoff for civil cases for past sexual offenses under the New York Adult Survivors Act. What is the status? Ongoing. On March 1st, 2024, Dickerson's attorneys filed papers giving Combs until April 12, 2024 to respond in court to her complaint. What is Combs' response? Innocent. Through a spokesperson, Combs denied and rejected the claims of misconduct. He recognizes this is a money grab, the spokesperson said in a statement, because of Mr. Combs' fame and success. He is an easy target for accusers. Hold on a minute, back up. I'm done reading this for just a second. When it's one person or two persons, maybe three, maybe they're not. This is turning into multiple things, and not everybody's doing a cash grab. There are so many celebrities out there with just as much money as he's got, if not more, and you're not seeing them being accused of this shit. So why are they going after him and his money? That doesn't even make sense. That excuse is tired. I'm tired of that excuse already from him. Cash grab my ass. Because Mr. Combs' fame and success is an easy target for accusers who will falsify the truth without consequence, for financial benefit. The New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the adult survivors to be exploited for improper purposes. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these unsustainable allegations. As I said, every excuse he's in here is because it's a cash grab. I don't know if you, I think her has been making her videos. I have TikTok and I have well over 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I hadn't used it in a while. I'm going to regret this. I had over 1,000 followers on TikTok. I know my name. I couldn't remember my password. Now I can't get in. They keep wanting me to do a caption. I do the caption. I do the password. And they run me through a bunch of loops, and then I still can't get in. Then I accidentally, and this is not even a joke, I accidentally, uh, thinking that my name was wrong, I thought, you know what? I put in a different name. Well, it started me a new account. And I realized once I got into it, that's not mine. So I have an account with over 1,000 followers. I would like to go back into it because I can use TikTok to bring more people to my YouTube. But I can't get into it. I can get into the new account. I can't get into the old account. I can't figure out how to get in the old account. I have put in a request for help on this and not getting any help from them. But I can use the new account to look her up. I'm just not going to make any videos on the new account because I've got, and my kid suggested that I just start a new account and start fresh. I don't want to start fresh. I have, like I said, I have over 1,000 followers on the old one. Why would I start a new one? Why would I start a new one? So what I can do is I can log into my new one and look her up and watch her videos. I appreciate you telling me about that because, like I said, I do have an account with TikTok. It's not my actual. I mean, it is. It's my account, but it's a new account. I don't want to use it for videos. It took me forever to get those 1,000 people. I don't want to have to go through that again. And when my kids log in to TikTok, they can find my old account. They can see that I have over 1,000 followers still, and I haven't been on it for months. But I can use the new account. I can go in there. I'm sure it is informative and heartbreaking. I probably should go in there and start looking around a little bit. Adult Survivors Act, Target, blah, 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 falsify the truth. Okay, case number 6. Grace, oh, I'm going to mess this name up bad. Oh, Lordy. We'll just call her Grace because I cannot. I'm looking at her last name going, nope. Nope. Versus Christian Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Sean Combs' 26-year-old son, Christian. Oh, my goodness. Sean Combs' 26-year-old son, Christian Combs, is being sued for sexual assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress among the other allegations. Holy crap, his son's doing this shit too? Oh, wonderful. The family that plays together stays together, I guess. The 31-page lawsuit brought on by Grace claims that she was sexually assaulted while working as a yacht deckhand for the family during the Christmas break of 2022 in the Caribbean. She is also asking that Sean Diddy Combs be held liable for his son's actions for charting the yacht, assuming responsibility for the guests throughout the Caribbean trip. Grace alleges that there was a constant rotation of suspected sex workers and other A-list celebrities, such as French Montana, Cuba Gooding Jr., on the yacht. She alleges sex workers were sprawled out unconscious on the yacht, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with drugs and which bottles were not. In the early morning hours of December 28, 2022, a heavily intoxicated Christian Combs physically assaulted her, according to her complaint. She alleged that Christian blocked her from leaving, took off all his clothes, and forced her to perform oral copulation. Of course. Like I said, family together, stay together. She is suing Diddy, blaming him for fostering an environment of debauchery, filed with the suspected sex workers, violence, alcohol allegedly laced with drugs, and and disrespect for the crew. When was it filed? April 4th, 2024, in Los Angeles Superior Court. What is the status? Ongoing. What is Combs' response? Innocent. I didn't do it. Aaron Dyer, the attorney for the father-son duo, called the lawsuit claims lewd and meritless. Of course they did. They haven't done any of these things. Like I said, there's tons of celebrities with as much money, pool, whatever that he has. You're not seeing them in trouble for anything. Just him. Huh. I wonder why that is. Anyway, innocent. Aaron Dyer, an attorney for the father-son duo, called the lawsuit's claims lewd and meritless. This complaint is filed with the same kind of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts we've come to expect from Blackburn, he said, referring to the lawyer also representing Rodney Jones. This is exactly why the federal judge in New York slapped him 2 days ago for a pattern of behavior improperly filing cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly, and why he was referred to the disciplinary committee of the Southern District of New York. We will be filing a motion to dismiss outrageous claims. Sure. Okay. Case number 7. This is it's not funny. There's nothing about this. This is funny. But what is striking me is, I thought I was getting to the end of this list. I apparently am not. And that's what I said. So I'm learning things tonight. Kristen McKinney versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? McKinney says that she met Combs when she was a 22-year-old model and a designer flew her into New York City to attend a Fashion Week event. I can't pronounce this either. Well, I'm sure there's lots of people in this, and I'm sure it's going to be a list, kind of like the Epstein list, which we've not seen. I would like to get my hands on that list. But here we go. The unnamed designer handpicked her clothes, a black, see, I can't even say simple words tonight, a black leather coat, a translucent chiffon beige V-cut skirt, which McKinney says she kept unwashed and plastic wrapped after the traumatic events. Oh, so she was attacked wearing clothes that she kept untouched. She kept them bagged up. Smart. Oh. Unwashed and plastic wrapped after the traumatic events. McKinney alleges Combs told her that he had the power in the industry and was going to help her advance in her career. Of course he was. Later that same night, McKinney alleges that she met Combs at the studio where he gave her lace joint, plied her with alcohol, followed her to the bathroom, and forced her to perform oral sex. After the alleged assault, McKinney believes that Combs blackballed her in the modeling industry since she suffered since this, she has suffered depression and even attempted suicide. Holy crap. When was this filed? May 21st, 2024 in the federal court in Manhattan. What is the status? Ongoing. What is Combs' response? Representatives for Combs have not yet responded to a request for comment. Representatives for Combs have not yet responded to the request for comment. Okay. Case number 8. Get on there and participating in this. I know. Okay. I've already read that. Okay. Case number 8. April Lampros versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? April Lampros filed a 22-page lawsuit against Sean Combs, accusing him of battery, sexual assault, negligent infliction of emotional distress, committing a crime of violence motivated by gender. Lampros' complaint filed in the New York State Court alleges that Lampros met Combs in early 1994 while she was in college. While she was a college student in the Fashion Institute of Technology, which I've actually heard of. Initially, Lampros says Combs promised to mentor her and showered her with gifts and flowers. Well, of course. Lampros says she endured 4 terrifying sexual encounters up until the 2000s. The first occurred in 1995 when she felt uneasy after he pressured her to drink. Lampros alleged that Combs took her to a hotel, ignored her pleas, raped her, and that is all in the lawsuit. Lampros says a month after Combs continued to send her gifts and flowers, believed that the rape was a mulligan, she decided to give him a second chance. What the fucking why? I don't care how much flowers and gifts and whatever. But I mean, if I stop and I look at it from her perspective, maybe in her thought, I'm not giving him any whatever here. Maybe in her thought, maybe she's like, okay, maybe I perceived it as rape, but he didn't. So maybe he deserves a second chance. He's been apologizing. He's sorry. Flowers, blah blah blah. So yeah, I kind of get what she's saying. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying I kind of get what she's trying to say. She's not give a second chance. Second accusation occurred in a parking lot in view of a parking garage attendant. She's come forced his erect penis into her mouth and demanded that she perform oral sex. Wonderful. During the third encounter in 1996, he was allegedly forced her and an ex of his, the singer Kim Porter, to take ecstasy and have sex with each other. Combs allegedly masturbated and then raped Lampros, according to the complaint. Lampros says the fourth incident occurred in the end of 2000 when Combs was dating Jennifer Lopez. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Jennifer Lopez used to dating. This is gonna be fun. She claims he came over to her apartment with security and tried to get her to have sex with him, but she was able to refuse his advances by opening the door and demanding that he leave. Years later, at an event in 2023, Lampros says that a man informed the person she was with that he had seen a sex tape of Lampros having sex with Combs filmed without her consent. Oh, lovely. When was filed? May 23rd, 2024, New York City County Supreme Court. What is the status? Ongoing. What is Combs' response? Innocent. Combs' reps have not yet responded to Vulture's request for a comment. Case number 9. Oh boy. Derek Lee Cardello Smith versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Derek Lee Cardello Smith filed a personal injury complaint against Combs, allegedly that the singer sexually assaulted him, according to news reports. So Diddy swings both ways. This is what I'm understanding. Cardello Smith, who is currently incarcerated in the Michigan Correctional Facility until 2026, told a Michigan judge Anna Marie Alazone and Michigan Judge Anna Marie, who held a virtual hearing with Cardello Smith. This is something else. I hope he stays there forever and ever and ever. Cardello Smith, who okay. In July, that recently had a meeting with Combs in which Combs told him that he would make him an offer to settle the case because of other things he stated he had going on in his life that required money right now. He said he wants to see everything off. Cardello Smith claimed that Combs offered him $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. Of course he did. When the settlement money never materialized, Cardello Smith asked the judge for a preliminary temporary restraining order injunction that prevented Combs from selling his Los Angeles mansion for $70 million for 90 days. Judge Anna Marie granted Cardello Smith's request, and then at a hearing September 9th, granted him an additional request for another $100 million default judgment against Combs for failing to appear at the hearing, according to the court records. This is not Cardello Smith's first jailhouse lawsuit. He filed 3 others while incarcerated. According to the Detroit Metro Times, he's known for his long history of challenging the judicial system with civil lawsuits. When was it filed? June 10th, 2024, Michigan's. I'm telling you, I'm having problems with words tonight. Lenawee County Circuit Court. What's the status? A judge has set aside $100 million judgment because the notice of the case was not properly sent. There will be another hearing on November 4th. What was Combs' response? Innocent. After the judgment was issued, Combs' attorney Mark. What is this tonight with me in words? This is the last name. This is another one I'm just not going to get. Released this statement on behalf of the client to the multiple media outlets. This man is a convicted felon and sexual predator who has been sentenced on 14 counts of sexual assault and kidnapping for the last 26 years. The statement reads, his resume now includes committing fraud on the court from prison, as Mr. Combs has never heard of him, let alone been served any lawsuit. Mr. Combs looks forward to having this judgment swiftly dismissed. So now he's saying he didn't even know this guy. This guy's totally making this shit up. Nothing matters. That doesn't work. Of course not. Case number 10, Don Richardson versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Don Richard, I misread the name, Don Richard versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Don Richard, who was a member in two of Combs' musical groups, Dana Kane. Oh, I didn't know Dana Kane was a Diddy Combs group. Dana Kane and Diddy Dirty Money filed a 55-page lawsuit against Combs in Manhattan's federal court, saying she personally witnessed Combs assault his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Richard's suit claims that the abuse included choking and strangling Miss Ventura, striking her with his hands and objects, slapping her, punching her, and throwing items at her, including a scalding hot pan. Richard also describes trying to help Ventura and Combs threatening her life in return. Richard's lawsuit alleges that Combs regularly hurled objects in fits of rage, including mobile phones, laptops, food, studio equipment at people. Richard says she also saw Kim Porter, the mother of Combs' 3 children, leaving the recording studio in 2005 in tears and with visible facial injuries. Lovely. Richard claims she was present when Combs had a party. Richard claims she was present when Combs had a party and that a dozen of girls, some of whom appeared to be underage, not surprising, were given drugs and alcohol that even though many of them appeared lethargic or passed out, Mr. Combs and his guests performed sexual acts on them, according to her complaint. Mr. Combs repeatedly said things like, "This is a buffet. Enjoy yourselves. This is what we do. This is how we party. You woohoo. This is it. This is how we party." Richard says was there's words missing out of this. That's partly why I'm having trouble. Richard says was concerned is how it reads. Richard says she was concerned for her safety and subjected to gender-motivated violence and was sexually harassed and assaulted by Combs. She is suing Combs for sex trafficking, sexual assault, sexual battery, false imprisonment, among other claims, and demanding a jury trial. Oh, my Lord. When was it filed? September 10th, 2024, Manhattan's federal court. What's the status? Ongoing. What is Combs' response? Let me guess. Innocent. Anyway, Combs' attorney, Erica Wolf, see, I got that one right, shared the following statement. Mr. Combs is shocked and disappointed by this lawsuit. In the attempt to rewrite history, Don Richard has now manufactured a series of false claims in the hopes of trying to get a payday. Yes, that's what everybody wants, is a payday from him. Lord mercy. An attempt to trying to get a payday, conveniently timed to coincide with the album's release and press tour. If Miss Richards had such a negative experience with making the band and dating Kane, She would have not chosen to continue working directly with Mr. Combs for dirty money, nor would she have returned for the making of the band Reboot in 2020 and agreed to feature in the Love album last year. It's unfortunate that Miss Richards cast their 20-year-old friendship aside to try to get money from him, but Mr. Combs is confidently standing on the truth and looks forward to proving that in court. Oh, but we're not done. We are not done. Case number 11. I'm running into another name I'm having trouble with. Thalia. Tha. Thalia? Graves versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Miss Graves filed a lawsuit accusing Combs of viciously raping her in 2001 after tying her up naked with her hands behind her back when she was unconscious. Graves, 53, alleges that she was just 25 when Combs summoned her to his studio to talk about her performance of her then boyfriend, who was an executive at Bad Boy Records at the time. Combs and his bodyguard, Joseph Big Joe Sherman, picked Graves up from her mother's house in Queens and drove her to the studio. During the car ride, Combs gave her a glass of wine, which later caused her to briefly lose consciousness, according to her lawsuit. Of course. When she awoke, Graves said that she was naked and her hands were tied behind her back. Sherman, she said, slammed her face on a pool table and then Combs walked into the room naked, put lubricant on his penis, and violently, anally and vaginally raped her. She also alleged that afterwards Sherman forcibly inserted his penis into her mouth. After did he clean it in between? Gag. She also alleged that afterwards Sherman forcibly inserted his penis in her mouth until it hit her until she was lost unconsciousness again. After Combs and Sherman left her, Graves said she dressed and left her crying uncontrollably. A driver took her to the hospital and tried to convince her to report the rape, but Graves said that she was going through a divorce at the time and she was scared she would lose custody of her child. Oh my Lord Jesus, another one like this? Are you kidding me? It is. It's horribly disgusting. Ugh. The violation that I have experienced during the assault has had lasting effects on my body, causing ongoing health problems and complications, Graves said on September 24th during a press conference with her attorney, Gloria Allred. Most people know that name. I want to continue on this journey towards recovery and healing. I'm glad that he is locked up, but that is a temporary feeling of relief. When was it filed? The 26-page lawsuit was filed in Manhattan federal courts. What is the status? Graves has filed a request to issue a summons to inform Combs of her lawsuit that he is being sued. Her attorney has asked the summons be sent to Combs at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Graves has also filed a request for summons and a copy of the lawsuit to be sent to Sherman. What's Combs' response? Innocent. Actually, it says his legal team hasn't responded to the allegations yet. Jane Doe versus Sean Combs, case number 12. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, has he been fucking busy. What does the lawsuit say? In a new 18-page lawsuit, a woman who is choosing to remain anonymous has shared allegations of abuse against Diddy. She alleges that Diddy drugged her and that she was sexually assaulted on various trips and she felt forced to go on him with. I don't know who wrote this article, but they should have fixed their errors before having this published. I'm surprised whoever does that stuff didn't go through these and find these mistakes. Okay. The woman says she met Combs in 2020 overseas when she was invited on a trip that he paid for. The next year, she says Combs employees would arrange for her to travel to Combs' homes in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami on a monthly basis. The woman alleges that Combs would send drivers to pick her up before she even agreed to attend the trip. Among her allegations, she says she was forced to ingest ketamine. Combs forced her to have sex without consent, and in one instance, she woke up with bruises and bite marks on her body. At one point, after being allegedly drugged, she says she took a pregnancy test and learned it was positive. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. She alleges that Combs' employee, ex-girlfriend, young rapper Young Miami, harassed her to have an abortion, and she later suffered a miscarriage. She also says, mirroring Graves' allegations, that Combs would record his sexual encounters with her without her permission. Doe alleges that the abuse spanned 4 years up until Homeland Security raided his home in 2024. When was it filed? The lawsuit was filed September 27th in New York Supreme Court. What is the status? Ongoing. What is Combs' response? He has not yet responded. Let's see. Jen Lopez knew that is so messed up. Like, what do they have on these people to make them be quiet? I'm sure she was probably just threatened like everyone else. I mean, she was with him for a while, and I'm sure I can't talk at all. I'm sure she's seen some shit. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. But I'm sure she has seen some stuff. I get it. But somebody besides these women, witnesses, you would figure witness, especially another woman, would report this shit. I'm sorry. Not a big fan of hers anyway. Case number 13, Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Jane Doe, who lives in Georgia, has filed a Jane Doe, who lives in Georgia and has filed his case. Oh, John Doe. Well, it says Jane Doe here, and then it's in the description on the title on the case number, it says Jane Doe, and then down here it says John Doe, who lives in Georgia, has filed his case anonymously, is suing Combs for rape, assault, and battery, and aggravated sexual abuse. According to his complaint, he alleged that he was invited to one of Combs' parties in October 2021 through his industry connections working for a management company at the time. He alleged he was immediately offered ecstasy, which he refused. He instead limited himself to just one drink, but afterward felt disoriented. I've heard that from other people talking about this. I've heard that I've heard that, like, a lot of people talking about how they just had one drink, or a lot of people have been talking about how they knew if you went to a Diddy party to only have one drink and then leave immediately after. This guy apparently only had one drink. What we say? And that's why I told you about, like, her. She's naming names, and I'm actually scared for her safety because she is naming some powerful, famous people in this. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to go to TikTok, I'm sure, and use my account that's not my good account. Use my account, and so I can see some of these things, because I am missing a lot of stuff that I normally would be doing. However, being said, I would also like to recover my old account because, I had a lot of followers. But yeah, I'm going to have to use my account and go in there. I'm going to have to look this up myself. As I said at the beginning of this, I knew he was into a lot of shit. I knew he was a dangerous person. I've heard people talking about this shit on and off for years. I don't know, Justin Bieber is involved in this somewhere, but I'm not sure if he is. I think, and this is just me, I'm not saying this is fact. If I heard it right, I think he was a victim, but I do not know. I've not read anything about it yet. I've not seen anything about it yet. But rumors travel, especially through social media. I know that Justin Bieber is involved somewhere, but I think he was a victim. And again, let me state right up front, I'm not sure on that one. But I have heard people say that if they went to a Diddy party, they need to only have one drink and then leave. This guy claims he only had one drink. one drink, but afterward he felt disoriented. He said he tried to leave the party, but a male voice told him to hold on. The next thing he remembers being in a bedroom, essentially paralyzed, unable to move or speak, as multiple men then sexually assaulted him and sodomized him. Jesus Christ. He also recalled seeing Combs above him naked at one point during this, according to his complaint. He claimed in his lawsuit that Combs fancied the use of one of those popular date rape drug. I'm going to just spell this because I don't know how it's pronounced, so just bear with me. Actually, thank you for letting me know. I'm just going to type it up so people can see it. This was a date rape drug. HYPNOL. That's the drug. And would often secretly mix the drugs into alcohol beverages, typically champagne or lemon drops. And the partygoers were forced to consume them. When was this filed? October 14, 2024 in the New York Federal Court. What's the status? Plaintiff, the alleged victim, is fighting to keep his name anonymous. His attorney has asked the judge to maintain the client's anonymity. Let him be anonymous. Sorry. Words are not my friend tonight, I guess. Worse than normal. Over fear of violence and retribution for coming forward with his allegations. Oh my God, there's case number 14. John Doe versus Sean Combs. We were together for 18 years. She passed away from cancer, but she used to tell me she got bad vibes off certain people that are being named now, and she had good. Oh, okay. Damn, when people hear about some of the stuff I talk about, they tell me I've lived a life. So have you or friends. I think most of us here, though, that watch this stuff, like people that watch true crime stuff, most of us have lived a life, like quite a life. And that's why we're into the true crime shit. You know what I mean? John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, who currently lives in Ohio, is suing Combs over an aggravated sexual assault that he alleged took place in Mercy's department store. In May 2008, Doe said he was working as an advisor for the Echo Clothing in Macy's flagship when Combs and his son John and his who had his can this person not type or hold on? Macy's flagship when Combs, who had his Sean John Brand. I had to look at what they typed, and I had to read it what the way they have it, and then I had to look at it again and go down and fill in the words that are missing. Sean John Brand, okay, at the time, and the 3 bodyguards entered. Doe claimed suddenly someone hit him with a pistol, and the blow forced him to his knees. He alleged that Combs said, "Suck my dick, Echo," and orally raped him until ejaculating and said, "You like that, white boy?" Oh, 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 yuck. This is so gross. According to his complaint, he said he immediately reported the assault to Macy's security. He said he was then subsequently fired, which alleged he said he was subsequently fired, which he alleged was related to Macy signing a multi-million-dollar deal with Combs' clothing line. Okay. Like I said, guys, bear with me because most of this is typed correctly. It's just me stumbling over some certain words. But some of these paragraphs are missing words, like small words like on, they, them, whatever. They're missing words, and then I have to read it and put the right words in. When was it filed? October 14, 2024, New York Federal Court. What's the status? Plaintiff, the alleged victim, is fighting to keep his name anonymous. His attorney has asked the judge to maintain his client's anonymity over fear of violence and retribution for coming forward with allegations. Case number 15, John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, who lives in New Jersey, said that in 2006 he accepted a last-minute job at Combs East Hampton house to provide security for an event for executives. During the party, he alleged that Combs gave him a drink, leaving him feeling ill. Combs pushed him into a truck and sodomized him, according to the complaint. Doe claimed that he told his supervisor at the time of the assault. When was it filed? October 14, 2024, in New York federal court. What's the status? Doe's attorney has asked the judge to let his client remain anonymous as he is still fears retribution over the traumatic incident. Case number 16, Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. Jesus Christ. What does the lawsuit say? New York resident Jane Doe said she met Combs in June 1995 at a promotional party for Biggie Smalls' video. She alleged that Combs approached her at the event and asked her to speak to her privately, and she followed him to the bathroom where Combs started kissing her. When she pulled away, he violently struck her and then raped her, according to her complaint. She claimed that Combs also threatened her that she would disappear if she ever told anybody about the assault. Not surprised. When was it filed? October 14th, 2024, in the New York federal court. What's the status? She filed court documents asking to keep her name anonymous. District Judge Louis Lineman granted her request on October 16th, stating that the nature of her sexual assault allegations was highly personal and that revealing her identity may lead to significant, potentially harmful attention from the media and the public. But we're not done. John Doe versus Sean Combs, case number 17. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, who now lives in North Carolina, said in 1998, when he was just 16 years old, he was recruited to attend one of Combs' white parties in the Hamptons. I've heard people talking about these white parties. After receiving an invitation through a mutual connection, he thought it would be an opportunity for him to make connections to break into the music industry. Of course. At the party, he spoke to Combs about his ambitions, and per the lawsuit, Combs told him he would need to inspect his penis because it was a rite of passage for everyone trying to break into the industry. So he told the 16-year-old boy, I need to look at your penis. It's a rite of passage. What everybody does. Shit, whatever. Being a rite of passage for anyone trying to break into the industry. Combs then cupped Doe's genitals for an extended period of time and told him people would be in touch with him, according to the complaint. When was it filed? October 14th, 2024, in the New York federal court. What's the status? He filed documents asking to keep his name anonymous. On October 17th, District Judge Jennifer Rochin granted his request. This crap has been going on for years. I mean, yes, what I'm saying. I know that for years he's been doing some weird shit. And I know he's, been to a lot of things. And I knew it was bad, but I didn't know to what extent. Case number 18, Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Jane Doe, who lives in Tennessee, said that she was invited to a Combs photo shoot in 2004, which was taking place across the street from her college campus in Brooklyn. Then the 19-year-old was later invited to a more exclusive party back at Combs Hotel, and she brought along a friend. Once in the hotel suite, one man, whom she believed to be Combs' bodyguard, told them, "You know what you're here for, right?" She claimed the guard locked them in a room with Combs and then forced her and her friend to give him oral sex, starting to kill her. According to the complaint, Combs then turned his sights on her, raped her friend, and then turned his sights on her. The person that wrote this needs to go to school. Ordering her to undress before raping her, the lawsuit states. When was this filed? October 16, 2024, in the New York federal court. What's the status? She was asking the court to proceed with her lawsuit anonymously, over fear of violence and retribution for coming forward with their allegations. What was Combs' response to these 6 lawsuits? Case number 13 to case through number 18. After attorney Tony Busby held a press conference on October 1st announcing that he was filing 120 lawsuits in total, Combs' attorney Erica Wolf told Newsweek in a statement, as Mr. Combs' legal team has emphasized, he cannot address every meritless allegation and of what has become a reckless media circus. Of course, he's innocent. I have a feeling if more names are out, people are going to be shocked and disbelieve over who's involved. See, here's the thing. When Epstein's list was supposed to come out, which to the best of my knowledge, nobody's ever seen it yet, there was supposed to be a lot of Hollywood elites on that list. I mean, we know that, and this is just what we know. This is facts that are out there. We know because we've seen the pictures. We know that Trump was at them. Bill Clinton was at them. That's only 2 people I can think of at the top of my head right now that was involved. But I'm sure there was a lot more people, and I'm sure if we had the full list, we would be shocked about that one as well. I think the Diddy thing, though, is going to be worse. I really do. Case number 19, John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, who lives in California and owns business renting luxury cars and jewelry, said he was sexually assaulted at a party in Los Angeles 2022. He alleged Combs pulled him aside at a party, exposed himself, and then grabbed his genitals. He said the assault stopped when a professional athlete, who he won't name, entered the room according to the complaint. When was it filed? October 20th, 2024 in New York Federal Court. What's the status? The judge in this case is asking the alleged victim to file a request to receive permission to proceed anonymously. Okay, this is me. I'm messing this up. Anonymously by October 28th, or else he will dismiss the complaint. I have a feeling if more names come out. Oh yeah, I read that one already. I'm trying to keep up. Like when I see something pop up, I try to read it, and I'm trying to keep up with this. You're fine. Everybody's allowed, should make comments. I'm just doing my best to keep up. Sometimes I'll reread something. I'm sorry. John Doe versus case number 20, John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, a personal trainer who lives in California, alleged that he was drugged and repeatedly sexually assaulted by Combs and a yet unnamed celebrity at 2022 award show after party. Combs' house in the Hollywood Hills. Wait a minute. I'm going to reread this mostly because I think I messed this up. John Doe, a personal trainer who lives in California, alleged that he was drugged and repeatedly sexually assaulted by Combs and a yet unnamed celebrity at a 2022 award show. After a 22 award show after party at Combs' house in Hollywood Hills. An unnamed celebrity. I'm wondering if that's by any chance Kevin Spacey, because Kevin Spacey has faced allegations of his own from young men. Makes me wonder if that unnamed celebrity was Kevin Spacey. He said he entered the house and asked to sign an NDA and handed a drink. The lawsuit states he was brought to a room where he saw several well-known figures who were engaging in group sex activities. Of course. He said he then began to feel disoriented and weak and later realized someone had drugged him. Combs allegedly approached him, began performing non-consensual oral sex on him, and then directed him to perform oral sex on the celebrity, according to the lawsuit. The plaintiff claimed as he slipped in and out of consciousness that he was passed around like a party favor for the other guests of the party enjoyment, according to the complaint. I wonder if that's Kevin Spacey, because like I said, Kevin Spacey was a while back. of things that he's done to young men. When was this filed? October 20th, 2024, in New York federal court. What's the status? The judge in this case is asking the alleged victim to file a request to receive permission to proceed anonymously by October 25th, or the case will result in dismissal. Case number 21. Holy fuck. Case number 21, John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? Oh, Jane Doe. I'm sorry. That's my mistake. Jane Doe, who lives in Alabama, said on September 7th, 2000, she was 13. Are y'all hearing this? She was 13. A friend dropped her off at Radio City Music Hall, where she tried to get into the Video Music Awards by approaching drivers. Combs' driver told her she fit what Diddy was looking for and later took her to Combs' after party. When she arrived, she was given an NDA to sign and given a reddish yellow drink that tasted bitter. Per the complaint, she felt woozy and lightheaded and found an empty bedroom to lie down. Combs, she alleged, then entered with both a female and a male celebrity. She alleged that the male celebrity raped her while Combs and the female celebrity watched. Afterward, Combs allegedly tried to force her to perform oral sex, but she fought him off. According to her lawsuit later, she was able to escape and called her father. She was 13. Are you fucking kidding me? She was 13. Damn. When was it filed? October 20th, 2024, New York Federal Court. What's the status? Ongoing. Case number 22, Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? On Memorial Day weekend in 2014, Jane Doe flew with two friends to Las Vegas to stay at Hotel Rio. At the hotel, she was invited to a poolside party and later to an after party at Combs' suite at Planet Hollywood. She said Combs directed her to the bar area at the party and told her to help herself from any of the open bottles of vodka. After a few sips, she claimed 40 minutes later she started to feel dizzy and lost control of her motor functions. She said that she was directed to rest in her bedroom where she passed out. When she woke up the next morning, she recalled being sore with a shirtless Combs yelling at someone over the phone. Plaintiff eventually got up and realized she was naked and her genital soreness was more aggravated in her genital area, and was horrified to realize she had been raped by Combs, according to her complaint. Of course. She located her belongings, including her dad's cell phone, and made her way back to the Hotel Rio, where her friends were staying. When was this filed? October 20th, 2024, in the New York Federal Court. What's the status? Ongoing. What's Combs' response to the four lawsuits, case 19 through 22? Combs' family issued a statement on October 22nd. The past month has been devastating. They didn't type this right. This was not typed correctly. The past month has been devastated. The past month has devastated our family. I had to put in words again. Many have judged him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, false narratives, and spiraled to absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it all will prevail. Nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and we love you, Dad. His kids. Good Lord. Case number 23, Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? The alleged victim, an independent music artist who currently lives in North Carolina, says she was 29 when she was invited to a New York party hosted by Combs in December 2022. While she claims she saw widespread use of drugs at the party, she only drank one glass of wine. Combs approached her, expressed interest in her music career, and suggested they continue their discussion in his office, she states. Once in the office, she recalls feeling disoriented and slipping in and out of consciousness. She alleges that it became clear to her that she had been drugged. Due to the effects of her drug drink, Combs raped and sexually assaulted her. The lawsuit states she could not stop him from doing it. She was trapped inside she was trapped inside her body, not participating and not able to resist. She woke up the next morning with blood on her legs and bruising on her lips, and found deep imprints on her arms, wrists, according to the lawsuit, suggested she had been tied with ropes. Jesus Christ. When was it filed? October 22nd, 2024, in the New York Federal Court. What's the status? On October 24th, U.S. District Judge Valerie Caproni ruled that the alleged victim in this case was allowed to continue to pursue her case against Combs anonymously. Case number 24, John Doe versus Sean Combs. What does the lawsuit say? A John Doe living in California said he was introduced to Diddy in 2005 when he was 10 years. Wait a minute, hold the phone. Oh my Lord, Jesus, oh God, I'm sorry, people. John Doe, living in California, said he was introduced to Diddy in 2005 when he was only 10 years old and interested in breaking into the entertainment industry. He alleges that he was introduced to Combs by a consultant his parents had hired, who took him to an audition with Combs in a hotel room. He was 10 years old. Whoever this is, and I have my suspicions, whoever this is was 10. Fucking 10. Combs by a consultant his parents had hired, who took him to an audition with Combs in a hotel across from where he was staying with his parents. During the audition, he performed several rap songs before Combs allegedly asked him, "How badly do you want to be a star?" He claims Combs gave him a soda to drink, which made him feel a little funny. Combs allegedly forced him to perform oral sex and lost consciousness. He awoke, his pants were undone, and his anus and buttocks hurt badly. Oh, the baby. The baby. Oh my God. Pants were undone, and his buttocks hurt badly. According to the lawsuit, he alleges threatened him against telling anyone what happened. Despite the warning, he says he immediately told his parents, who were terrified of the potential consequences of reporting this abuse. When was this filed? October 28, 2024, in New York Supreme Court. What's the status? Ongoing. 10 years old. And he was raped. Jesus Christ. Oh, this man's sick. John Doe versus Sean Combs. Case number 25. What does the lawsuit say? John Doe, who lives in California, alleges Combs and his bodyguards sexually assaulted him during making the band audition in New York. In 2008, when he was just 17 years old, he participated in a 3-day audition for Combs' reality show, where Combs met with each of the contestants in a private room. On the first day, he recalls Combs asked him a hypothetical question about how he would handle situations involving sexual pressure, according to the lawsuit. As Combs described the scenarios, he began to sexually assault plaintiff by touching plaintiffs both over and under his clothing, including groping, fondling his penis, and instructing plaintiffs to undress, the lawsuit states. He alleges Combs masturbated during the second day. Doe alleges Combs escalated to sexual assault. On the third day, Combs introduced his bodyguard, what? Yeah, bodyguard T, and forced the accuser to give the bodyguard oral sex, while Combs sexually assaulted him again. Ultimately, he was told he was eliminated from the competition. Combs claims he was untrustworthy due to his reservations. Jesus. When was this filed? October 28, 2024, New York Supreme Court. What's the status? Ongoing. What's Combs' response to the last 3 lawsuits? Combs' attorney issued the statement. The lawyer behind the lawsuit is interested in media attention rather than the truth, as obvious from his constant press appearances and his 1-800 number. As we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new No, of course he can't respond to every new one. There's too many of them. He doesn't have time in the day to do this shit. Fuck. As we said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to the claims that are ridiculous or demonstrably false. M. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man, woman, minor, or adult. That was the last one. So there was 25 cases. In almost every case, actually in every case, he claims he's innocent. In most cases, he claims that it's all for money. It's just a money grab or an attention grab, but in most cases, it's a money grab. You know, I'm stuck here, and let me explain why. On one hand, especially as a woman, I want to believe all victims, and I should. And because there are people that are looking for a money grab, when it's one, maybe two, I'm not saying I don't believe them. I'm just saying that the possibility of money grab is that there's one or two. But when it's 25, I'm like, no, this is not a money grab anymore. There's something going on here. And it was men, women, children, a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 17-year-old, 19-year-old girls that were in college. I mean, there was so many. It kind of reminds me of Bill Cosby's thing. Give me a second, because it does. It kind of reminds me of Bill Cosby's thing. Oh yeah, I know. I would too. My children have never had anything like that happen to them, but I would unalive somebody if it did. You guarantee I would. Guarantee I would. Not even a thought. You wouldn't even have. That's not a thought. How many people accused? I forgot what I was going to ask. I hate when my brain does that. What was I thinking of? It reminded me of. What did I just say? I'm getting too old for this shit. um, Bill Cosby. How many people accused Bill Cosby of sexual assault?
According to Wikipedia, Cosby has been accused by over 60 women of rape,
60.
drug-facilitated sexual assault, sexual battery, or other sexual misconduct. There were also 2 instances of alleged child sexual abuse, both involving girls 15 years of age.
60? I thought 25 was horrible. 60? Cosby's been accused by over 60 women of rape, drug facilitated sexual assault, sexual battery, and other sexual misconduct. There's also been 2 instances of alleged child abuse, both involving girls 15 years of age. Oh my God. Now, he got out. He was sentenced, and he got out on a loophole. So, the people that are prosecuting the Diddy case, they need to make sure they have all their ducks in a row. They want to dot their I's, cross their T's. They don't want to leave anything undone, because if they leave anything undone, Diddy could get out just like Cosby. I thought 25 was bad until I read 60. 60? 60. Well, that apparently is it for tonight. Unless somebody has questions or something they want to discuss, I guess we're good. This has been an hour and a half already. And like I said, there had been a case I was going to talk about earlier. about a woman in Wiley, Texas, that as of Sunday, and I'm going to give you a brief rundown on this because I was going to talk about this, but I'm actually glad that everything's okay. Sunday night around 10 o'clock, Melissa and her husband, Daniel, went to bed around 10 o'clock Sunday night. Well, Monday morning when he woke up 6 a.m., she was gone. She didn't take a cell phone. She didn't take clothes. She didn't take anything. Well, I have to admit, with everything going on, especially things like Chris Watts and whatnot, when I heard that she was missing and didn't take anything with her, my first thought was we have another Chris Watts case. But she was found today and returned home. So that is good. That means that he didn't do anything wrong. We guess. I mean, we're assuming. But when I found out that she was returned home, I thought, well, there's no case there now. I really thought it was going to be another Watts case because what he told the police was, we went to bed about 10 o'clock Sunday night, and when I woke up Monday morning at 6 o'clock, she was just gone. She didn't take any medicine with her, and she was supposed to have heart surgery in a few weeks. No medications, no phone, no clothes, no nothing. She just gone. Well, of course, I mean, given everything, I didn't. Yes, she was found. I found that out because I was getting ready to look it up for tonight's live stream, and so I could go over it instead because I thought it was important. Then when I went to look it up, it said, Melissa, whatever was just found. They did say, I can look it up again real quick. I get my phone to cooperate. Where was the Wiley, Texas woman found?
According to CBS News, North Texas, a mother of two missing since Saturday has been located safe and in good health but severely dehydrated, according to the Wiley Police Department. Police said Melanie Ballinger was found around 5:15 p.m. Friday by a resident near Abbey Lane and Tyler Trail.
Yeah, she was found in good health but severely dehydrated. She was found near Abbey Lane and Tyler Trail, wherever that is, and I guess not far from her home. The reason why I was going to talk about it, because like I said, she went to bed Sunday night around 10 o'clock with her husband. When he woke up Monday morning around 6, she was gone. She disappeared. I thought, oh crap. My first thought was, we got another Chris Watts. Because they have 2 kids. The kids were fine. The husband was fine, but the wife just disappeared. Apparently, like I said, she's supposed to have heart surgery in a couple of weeks. She didn't take any of her medications with her. She didn't take any keys, clothes, phone, nothing. Just vanished. So when I first found out that the story he gave was, yeah, she just disappeared. My thought was, of course she did. Of course she just disappeared. She just said, fuck this, I'm done. Out. She took nothing with her. Now, since I don't know what happened, I don't have more information than that. Something happened. Now, obviously, she's alive, and we're all very grateful. But why did she leave? What happened between? Oh, I see. I didn't know Zawoki did her story, and I just be honest, I haven't. He hasn't popped up. I don't subscribe to him, and he hasn't popped up in my suggestions on YouTube in weeks. He hasn't popped up. And I get so busy with other stuff and my own stuff. And like I said, he's okay. He's okay. I'm not his number one fan. I never subscribed to him. I do watch a few of his videos. And I've always given him credit for the work that he does. So I didn't even know he had covered this, but I saw this and I was like, I'll talk about this tonight. We can do Diddy, talk about Diddy next Friday night. So like I said, I was wanting to pull up the information so I can read it. And it said she was found today. And I was like, well, shit. I mean, I'm glad she's found. Wonderful. I'm thrilled to death she's found. I'm glad that she's okay. I'm glad she's back home. I'm glad it's not another Chris Watts. However, it is making me wonder what happened. Did she just get up in the middle of the night and leave? Okay, well then I might go watch it later. I mean, probably not tonight because it's 11:30. Um, but it made me go, okay. So she was found. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm happy. I'm glad she's being reunited with her family. It's all wonderful. However, what happened? Why? Why'd she leave? Why did a woman that was home in bed with her husband leave? Did they get in a fight and she get mad? He didn't want to tell the police that because he was afraid that people would think he did something. Did she actually just get up in the middle of the night and leave? What possessed her to leave? I now want to know why. I want to know what happened. I am grateful she's home. I'm grateful she's safe. I'm grateful that it's not another Chris Watts. But I am now finding myself going, okay, so did she leave on her own? Was she having an episode? Was there something wrong with her that we obviously don't know anything about? So now I'm curious as to why. That's all. Why? But that's what I was going to talk about was her case, and then I found out she was home. So I went ahead and covered Diddy. That was a lot to cover. I didn't realize there was 25 cases, and I didn't realize I was going to be reading 25 cases. I also didn't realize when I started that there were some typos in it, which is, I mean, I was aggravated, but I couldn't have done a better job, so I probably shouldn't say anything. Some of it was me just not able to word tonight. Words were hard for me, apparently. And some of it was just typos, and I had to read it and then put in the correct words that were missing. Like sometimes it was typos, and sometimes it was just missing words. So I would read the sentence, put in the correct words that were missing, and then reread it because it would throw you off. It does if you're reading out loud and it's not typed right. You stop for a second, going, wait a minute. So yeah, that was a lot to read. It was more than I thought it was going to be. I had no idea it was 25 cases. I had no idea that it was men. I thought it was just women, and I had no idea that it was children. Excuse me. I had no idea that it was just children. No clue. And like I said, I knew that he was into a lot, and I knew it was a lot of weird shit, and I knew there was baby oil and sex parties and drugs, and I knew this. Like I knew a lot of the basics, but I'm kind of glad that I covered this tonight. I wasn't planning on covering it until somebody requested it. But now I'm glad I did because I know a lot more about it and I didn't know previous. So anyway, I think I'm wrapping this up. I'm not sure when I'm going to do Wednesday after Watch Wednesday. I have no idea. I will go look up Allie Carter. I've got here. I'll go look it up because I want to know more about it now. I'm sure it is awful. I'm sure I'm going to have a hard time with it, but it does make me want to know more. I had no idea about the kids. Like I said, and not and when I say it, well, it was just women. I don't mean it that way. I don't mean well, it's just women. I thought it was though just women. I didn't realize there was also men and children involved in this. A 10-year-old boy. I have my suspicions on who that might be. But I mean, we all do because we all know a little bit about this case. I'm sorry. But so I'm glad I did cover it. I'm glad I didn't read the Cosby thing, 60 cases. I'd have lost my mind trying to read all 60 of those. 60 cases, jeez. But I don't know anything about what I'm going to do for Watch Wednesday. So if anybody watching has got suggestions for Watch Wednesday, please just let me know. Leave me a comment on this or my last Wednesday's one, and I'll do it because I don't know what to do with it. Like, there's never going to be anything new, but people are still intrigued and people still want to know things about it. So I will keep talking about it as long as people want to know. But I run out of ideas. So if anybody has any ideas or suggestions for Watch Wednesday, please just tell me in the comments. Again, thank you for anybody that came. For the people came in tonight. It was a pretty good night. A little better than normal. So I appreciate the people that stopped in. I appreciate the people that stayed and listened, even though at moments I couldn't pronounce things, and at moments I had to rewrite the sentence in my own head. So I appreciate people sticking around and watching. If you've had a birthday, happy birthday. If you've had an anniversary, happy anniversary. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that. If you have a late birthday, happy belated birthday, got one coming up before Wednesday, happy early birthday. I don't want anybody to ever feel left out. And times are trying right now for a lot of people, so it's time to be extra comforting, to be extra kind to people who are upset right now. Some people are doing really well right now, and some people aren't doing as good. So it's time to reach out to people and be more comforting. Also, as always, and I don't even say this like a lot of people do because I don't like pandering, but please, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to know more. Hit the little notification bell. It'll let you know when I'm getting ready to do a video or a live stream. Typically, I upload Watch Wednesdays every Wednesday, usually later in the evening, and Friday nights 10 o'clock lives. Unless I've got family stuff going on or something happens in my personal life, I do try to make sure that I am here every Wednesday for my Watch Wednesday videos, and I'm here every Friday night for my live streams. And live streams could be about various things. It's one way to cover other cases. Since I do Wednesdays for Watts, it's one way to cover other cases. Like I said, I was going to talk about that lady in Wiley, Texas, and didn't really have anything to talk about because she was found. The P. Diddy stuff was just a lot more than I realized. I'm kind of glad I don't have enough subscribers to get paid. I wouldn't have been paid for tonight. I would have been demonetized. There's probably a few I'd be demonetized for. I'm trying. I am trying so hard to replace words. It is, for me, it's just not that easy. But I'm working on it. I don't got to. But anyway, in the meantime, thank you everybody for coming in tonight. Thank you for staying. Thank you for being here. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, ring the little bell, do all the fun things. Have great birthdays, make good choices. Take care of yourselves and each other because that's important. I love everyone. I want everyone to have a good night, and I'll see people on Wednesday.